Hello, Namaste. Hello, Namaste. This is Rohini Mirgu from Walchand Institute of Technology talking today on divergence theorem solution. So the problems on divergence theorem, how to solve, based on that this video will be, and here I have taken the case of cylindrical coordinate system. Learning outcomes, at the end of the video you will be able to apply divergence theorem for a given field. You will be able to verify the divergence theorem in cylindrical coordinates. Before we go to divergence theorem, let us have a look on what is the physical significance of divergence. So, divergence of a vector quantity indicates the rate of the divergence of a vector quantity indicates the rate of change of field strength in the direction of the field. So, it is nothing but rate of change of a particular field, which is and divergence is a vector quantity. So, for any vector the rate of change is nothing but a divergence. But what is meant by divergence? So, divergence is either the outflow or inflow. For example, if I say if divergence is positive, it indicates the field is diverging from the small volume, diverging outwards from the small volume. So, in that case I can consider it as a sourcing, the field is sourcing. And if the divergence is negative, it indicates the field is converging into the small volume. So, that is called as a sink. See, divergence is del dot. So, del indicates a small variation with respect to space. So, that it is, I am talking about a small volume. So, if divergence is positive, it indicates that the field is radiating outward from the volume element, and if divergence is negative, then I can say that the field is absorbed into the volume element. So, it's positive divergence indicating source, and negative divergence indicates the sink. Then the zero divergence. Zero divergence indicates the rate of entering into the volume is equal to the rate of leaving from the volume. So, rate of entering and leaving, if both are equal, in that case it is called as zero divergence. That is, sources and sinking both are equal. So, this is what here shown. So, this for the field is outward, radiating outward, it is acting like a source. So, this is called as a positive divergence case, and here the field is radiating or absorbed into the volume element. So, that is sinking. So, which is called as a negative divergence. So, the B is negative divergence, and here if sourcing is equal to the sink, so it is called as a zero divergence. Before we proceed further, as we are talking about the divergence theorem, just recall what is divergence theorem. Divergence theorem, it states that the outward flux of a vector field through a closed surface is equal to the triple integral of divergence of the vector field inside the surface. So, here the closed surface integral of d bar dot ds bar is equal to triple integral of divergence over a volume element. So, this is what is divergence theorem. Now, I am focusing this video on the solution to the given question. That means, if a particular field is given and its volume ranges are given, how to find the divergence of it and how to verify the divergence theorem. So, this video is basically focused on it. So, here I want to derive both sides of divergence theorem, or I want to calculate the both sides of divergence theorem for given d bar and for this ranges. So, for this question, let us try to find out the divergence on the LHS part as well as the RHS part. So, when I am trying to find the solution, first of all, I must know what is the divergence theorem. Divergence theorem relates the surface integral with the volume integral closed surface integral of d bar dot ds bar is equal to volume integral of del dot d bar dv. So if I take the LHS part, it is closed integral of d bar dot ds bar, and as it is the closed integral of d bar dot ds bar, so as it is ds bar, I should list out all the surfaces, and as I am saying it's a closed integral, I should take all the 6 surfaces, all the surfaces I should consider. As the question, that means the given d bar in the question, as you can see, here is rho, phi, the coordinates that you can see are rho and phi, or the unit vectors you can see is a rho bar and a phi bar. So we can say this coordinate system is nothing but the cylindrical coordinate system. As this is a cylindrical coordinate system, let us list all the surface in the cylindrical coordinate system. So recall the surfaces in the cylindrical coordinate system. In the video of cylindrical coordinate system, I have talked in detail about the differential length, differential surface and differential volume element in different coordinate system, and in the cylindrical coordinate system also it is explained. So we are listing here or recalling the surfaces which are in cylindrical coordinate system. So differential surface or area is multiplication of two lengths. Of course, surface or area is multiplication of two lengths, and area is a vector quantity. So if this is the surfaces, these are the surfaces, or this is a volume element that I consider in the cylindrical coordinate system, then this length is the radial variation d rho. So it's a part of a cylinder, that is the differential volume element, and so that this length is d rho, which is the differential length along the, so this is nothing but the differential length along the radial direction. So this is d rho. Vertical change is dz, and this circular change is rho d phi. So this is rho d phi dz. So first surface I can write as rho d phi dz. The one which is coming outward is a rho bar. There can be exactly diametrically opposite. There is another surface which I can write as ds2 bar as rho d phi dz with minus a rho bar. Similarly, the surface along the angular direction, in this direction, I can write it as a d rho into dz into a phi bar, and exactly opposite direction also there can be surface which is d rho dz minus a phi bar. The surface which is on the towards the upward side or the top side, I can name this as a d rho, the top surface, which I can name as write as a d rho and rho d phi into positive az. But if I consider the bottom surface, it is with the negative sign, that is minus az bar. So this is all surfaces. Now let us write these surfaces in the divergence theorem LHS part. So for this question as we are solving, so LHS I'll write, which is equal to surface integral of d bar dot ds bar. This d bar is given to me in the question. I can put this d bar in all the 6 integrals. Which 6 integrals? See, we have listed all the 6 surfaces. So for all these 6 surfaces, I have listed all these 6 surfaces. So for all the surfaces, I have to write this d bar dot ds bar. D bar is the one which is given here, that I can put into ds bar, one surface, second surface, third surface, fourth surface, fifth and sixth, and all these surfaces I have written. When I am taking the surface rho d phi az bar, as you can see here is the variation of rho and variation of phi. So the integration will be with respect to rho and with respect to phi. The limits I have taken from the question. In the question, rho is given as 2, so the limits are 0 to 2. In the question, phi is given as 0 to pi, so phi is 0 to pi. Beyond that, one more thing I have added. So all in the same way I have written all the 6 surfaces, and after writing all these 6 surfaces with d bar and with the respective integrals, as you can see here, the variation of d phi and dz is there, so it's phi and z. The variation of rho and z, so limits of rho and z are put. Okay. One more information which I have added here is z equal to phi. What does this mean? As there is this surface which is along positive az, this surface along negative az, but at this surface there is some value of z, some constant value of z. So that constant value of z is phi here, whereas here the constant value of z is 0. So 0 and phi are the values for the respective surfaces. From where I have taken these values? These are the ranges which are given. So the lower range of z is taken when there is minus az, and upper range of z is taken when there is plus az. Similarly, for plus a rho, I will take the upper range of rho, which is 2, and by default the lower range, here it is not specified, by default the lower range of rho is 0, which is taken for minus a rho. Similarly, in the integration where there is plus a phi, I have taken the upper range, which is pi, phi is equal to pi, and for minus a phi, I have taken the lower range, that is phi is equal to 0. So these things which are shown here in the colored boxes are nothing but the constant values for the particular surface. So for this surface, the constant value is this, for this surface, the constant value is this, and likewise. So let us proceed further. So once I have written all this d bar dot ds bar for all the 6 surfaces, now when I proceed further, you can see here, this is az bar, and here in the d bar there is a rho bar and a phi bar. So when I take the dot product of a rho bar dot az bar is 0. As you know that only self dot product is 1, with others it is 0. So that this first integral goes to be 0. Similarly, in the second integral also, I do not find the az bar unit vector, so that second integral also goes to be 0, as I have put here. See, I have written here the reason also, because the self dot product is 1, with others is 0, so these two integrals are going to be 0. And when I take the third integral, in the third integral there is a rho bar. So a rho bar dot a rho bar is 1. So I will get only the first term. So you can see first term is written, and with that particular surface, and az dot az is a rho dot a rho bar coming to be 1. So the unit vector is not written here. Similarly, for second, there is minus sign. So minus sign has been put. A rho bar dot a rho bar is 1. So I have written the term and the respective surface. When I take the fifth integral, here there is a phi bar dot a phi bar. That means the second term will appear, but a phi bar dot a rho bar will be 0. So the second term with d rho dz will appear. Similarly, the last term, sixth term will appear. So as you can see here, this is the fifth term and this is the sixth term will appear. And here, along with that, I have written the respective constants. Rho is equal to 2 here, here rho is equal to 0, here phi is pi, the same thing as from the previous equation I have taken. Here phi is 0. Okay, so this is just the simplification take a step where we are taking the dot products. After that, if you see, here there was a rho, but what is value of rho that I have put? So the rho has value 2, so I have written here with the red color in bold, as well as here also rho, that is put as 2. But here the value of rho is 0, so wherever rho is there, I have put it at 0. Similarly, phi here is pi, so here at the place of pi, I have written a pi value, and last integral, the phi value is 0, so at phi, I have written it as 0. So after simplification, you can see 6 to the 12, 12 to the 24, so it has come 24 outside. Inside the integral, there is sine 0.5 phi d phi dz. So sine 0.5 phi and dz. I have separated the integrals. So this is the integration with respect to phi. This is the integration with respect to dz. Okay. So this term simplification is here. The next term, if I see here 6 into 0, so this term completely goes to 0. So this is 0 here. Third term, as you can see here, in the third term, I have taken outside the constants 1.5 cos 0.5 pi, and inside the integral what is left is rho d rho and integration of dz. So rho d rho and integration of dz. In the last term also 1.5 cos 0, 0.5 into 0 is 0. So 1.5 cos 0 with the minus sign is taken outside. Inside the integral, left over is rho d rho and integration of dz. So after this, let us simplify this further. So this is minus 24 as it is, sine 0.5 phi d phi integration dz, this term is 0. The same equation I have written. Now the one which is colored in red, this one is solved here. As you can see, integration of sine is nothing but cos. So it has given as cos 0.5 phi divided by 0.5. Limits as usual, whatever written here, same limits we have taken. Integration of dz is z with the limits 0 to pi will give me the value as phi. This is 0 as it is. Now here this is 1.5 cos 0.5 pi. It indicates cos pi by 2 and the value of cos pi by 2 is 0. So this term goes to 0. Whereas last term here 1.5 is written as it is. Cos 0 is value 1. Integration of rho d rho is rho square upon 2 and integration of z is 5. So this is the simplification of the previous step. Now LHS, when I simplify further from the previous, here you can see 24 into 5 divided by 0.5, I'll get the value here as 48. Then I'll put the limits of cos phi and also I'll put the limits of rho. So accordingly I'll get here the limits of cos have been put, the limits of rho have been put, and when I simplify, the cos pi by 2 is 0, cos 0 is 1, and when I simplify I get the value as this value, first term value as 240, second term value as 15. So here there is a minus sign, this minus sign goes to be plus, so this is plus 240, whereas with 1.5 already there is a minus sign, this value is 2. So when I find 1.5 into 2 into 5, I'll get it as a 15. So after subtraction, I'll get my LHS part of my divergence theorem as 225 Coulomb. Thus, we can find out the LHS of the divergence theorem. These are the references used for preparing this video. Thank you.